Hail, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords.
Yes.
We are here today talking about Mr. Robot, Season 3, Episode 6, Kill Process. So, quick recap.
Sure.
Starts with a very enlightening flashback.
Yes.
It is taking place at Angela's mom's house. We see young Angela. And we see we see Christian Slater.
Yeah, Christian Slater.
Not Mr. Robot, really, right? Because it's pre-Mr. Robot.
Right.
He's
Mr. Anderson.
He's 80s version or whatever. Mr. Anderson. That's a different show.
Yes.
But similar. Angela's mom is having a I'm dying party. Like, I've decided I'm going away. I'm decided not to take any more therapy.
Right.
And I'm accepting my fate. I'm passing on party, which obviously Angela is like, this is weird.
Yep.
I don't really like this party at all.
No.
I like celebrating my mom's impending death.
No.
And she's watching Back to the Future, which could be interesting. Which I'll mention. If you haven't thought, okay, we'll talk about that.
Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. Beep. And she has a conversation with Christian Slater, Mr. Alderson, who's like, hey, you should go talk to your mom. I think, she is dying. I don't know. And you only got so much time, and she'd really like it. And Angela's like, yeah, this feels odd. I just doesn't feel right. And so he's like, I'm giving you a push to do this. Not physically, but, and he says,
when I die,
I
hope you'll be around to give
Elliott a push.
Like if he wants to blow something up, maybe you'll help him do
Maybe
that.
you'll help him do that.
Yeah.
And obviously that moment, too, is like, Christian Slater is pointing out, in that moment, he almost certainly knows that his time is limited.
Yep, he knows it.
So he's kind of giving those little, like, hey, I'm looking after my son after I die.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
So, and then she talks to her mom. She does take Christian Slater's advice.
Yep.
Talks to her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom says, this isn't the end.
Yes.
There's going to be a time when we're all back together.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be baking with me, and we're going to be doing all the stuff we always do together.
Yeah. Hey, she's like, what, 9? How old is she? Like 9 or 10 or something?
I'd say 10-ish.
10, and she's like, I know what death is. But,
Well, I think the mom truly believes, I think the mom is using that, has convinced herself of that to make passing easier.
Okay.
So I don't think she's like, you're too young to understand.
Yeah,
I think she's like, this is how I'm coming to grips with this. The other interesting part of that is there is this mysterious benefactor they mention.
Yes.
Who is offering, I think, to pay for treatments.
Yes.
And she's like, nah, no thanks.
Yeah,
And the husband's not pleased with that idea.
Probably more likely that it's, White Rose or whoever.
Or some Dark Army.
Associated with Dark Army, yeah. Because, probably not E-Core.
Yeah, they're looking to do some kind of maybe experimentation, or who knows, or what the underlying reason would be for that.
Since White Rose already kind of said she's partly responsible for it, at least, like it was part of the plan that, it may have been like, let's do this.
Sure. Or
be nice the way that E-Core is not being nice.
But that might come into play at some point.
Maybe.
As well. So then we cut back to what was the end of the last episode, last incredibly exciting episode in kind of one camera take. But we end with last week with Elliott saying, "Hey, is there something you want to tell me?" to Angela while the riot's happening. They're in the building. Elliott obviously knows that Angela's been working at cross purposes to him and lying to him.
Knows.
So he confronts her with it, and she basically just faces him, more or less. It's like, but things got to happen. And by the way, I don't even think you're supposed to be here. You were fired today.
Well, first she tries to really sell him more than she did before on the happy new world this is going to be. And also convincing him, basically saying, no, it was you that wanted to do this. So it is you that wants this.
And she does mention again, and our parents can come back.
That's yes.
That's why I was saying that I think the Back to the Future element is relevant because it's the idea of changing the past.
Ah.
I think she is whatever White Rose has sold her.
Yeah.
It's we can change the past, and your parents are going to be back.
Yeah.
And everything is going to be great.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have any intention of doing that, but they've sold her that bill of goods.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessary to talk about the next Angela scene in context. Her on the L train, being confronted with a gun. I feel as if, and it, some people might feel. I think I've heard people express it differently, but I feel as if that's like, hey, I'm not gonna die. None of us gonna die. That's her thinking. I think.
Yeah, well, so there's a couple of reasons for that. Her mentioning that line. One was that was kind of the promise she got from Irving.
Right.
When she was like, hey. Because it's obviously concerned her all through all these episodes is I don't want people to be in that building when it goes off.
Right.
And the bomb goes off. So I want to make sure the people are out.
Right.
And she gets confirmation, yep, we got it handled, no one's going to die. And so that's what she's been clinging to is this idea that, no, we're just changing, it's a revolution, but it's bloodless. And good things are going to happen, and no one's going to die. And so...
Well, I wonder if, because it kind of cues into me, like, there are people, getting into religion, and this sort of like cataclysmic event that afterwards everybody's supposed to be fine. All the people that are bad will go away.
Kind of the rapture moment.
Yep, the rapture basically is what I'm talking about. Maybe that's what she's thinking.
Okay, you just jumped into an HBO show. But
no,
okay.
I'll just jump back out.
Okay, we covered that one. That's on another. We got a playlist for the leftovers.
But
okay.
yeah, I don't know what's in her mind. It doesn't seem logical, and I hope the show isn't going to take us someplace crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I don't think it
Okay.
will. But I think also you're right that maybe no one's going to die. Also, it could be that thing of like, hey, since I am believing that White Rose has this way of going back in time and bringing us all our loved ones back, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, I'm good. I'll be brought back. And it was interesting too that he was wearing is actually wearing an F Society mask when he does it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so there's that. There is now Elliott is in this mad struggle to stop the bomb from going off in the facility, and he's basically at odds with himself, which we mentioned that might be a thing that would happen. It's not like that's completely out of the blue. How did that happen? But yes.
Well, he's been at odds with himself throughout the show.
Right, so, right. But I mean, in terms of like second to second,
yes, right.
It becomes like he starts narrowing the window of how long Mr. Robot has control of him. So it begins with a 15-minute window.
Yep.
He's in the site. Because he has to go to the site basically, so he has to basically put himself in danger.
Yes.
In order to fix the problem. So he's in the building. He tried to call in a bomb threat. They're like, hey, there's no bomb here. Back in, everybody. Get back to work. I think I might take the day off in that moment. It's like, hey, it's noon and we just had a bomb threat called in. You know what? I'm going to go home. But nope, everyone's like, hey, I got to get back. I got stuff to do.
They love that place.
I got that cell chart I got to work on. So everybody's back to work. He's there. He's about to solve the problem, but he suddenly realizes he can't push the enter button. Or you're like, and then suddenly 15 minutes are gone. And he's now sitting in a cab. And he's on his way out of, they mention an address. Second in Houston or something. But anyway, basically Mr. Robot got him in a cab and sent him away from the building. And so 15 minutes, he's like, stop. And then he gets back. And he goes back, and he gets back to the computer, and there's the one guy sitting in the computer lab who's like, you just ran out of here, now you're back. Okay. And so...
And here's the thing, actually, because he wasn't supposed to be in that building, but he took what appeared to be a security guard's pass.
It was a security guard's pass.
And here's the thing. Why would he go that long without using his security pass? You'd think at some point, you'd be like, wait a minute, you should probably turn off this badge.
Well, I started thinking about, it's interesting to think, what would you do if you were Mr. Robot and you want to keep Elliott from interfering with you?
Right.
And you've got a 15-minute window. You don't know you have 15 minutes, but you've got some amount of time.
Yep.
What would you do? And I think my immediate thought is, like, let's say I have no worry about the consequences to me, Mr. Robot.
Sure.
I'd probably just go up and hit a security guard. Like, just go down to the main floor where they're hanging out and just go, bang!
Right.
Oops! Oh, now I'm arrested or whatever. Like, as opposed to, I'll get in the cab and try to go away.
Well, yeah, it's potentially, I guess, that could have long-term consequences.
Right, but then he starts.
So it's like,
let's face it, as they go on farther, he starts banging his head on pipes.
Right.
I mean,
it's like, yeah,
that's long term as well.
Well,
but potentially, knock
like,
some sense into you.
Hit that part. Hit the Elliott part of my head.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No one's stopping me now.
So Elliott gets all the way back. Now he's wasted all this time trying to stop this bomb threat. Gets back to that room. He's back in it. Again, he warps out, but this time it's for 3 minutes, and he's just on the elevator going down, and he's like, fights himself, gets back. He's like, all right, I'm shortening up the time. He describes the kill process.
Yes.
As I don't know, I'll do my best here, but basically it's just, hey, you've got a computer program. Like in this case, there's this computer program that Angela gave to the Dark Army.
Yes.
That they're using to basically start this explosion.
Yes.
And so he's trying to kill that process. Well, at the same time, he mentions, well, it's kind of like Mr. Robot is trying to kill the process for me.
Yeah.
So by killing me, perhaps. And so yeah, it takes on the dual meaning there of their tete-a-tete and also this computer language. So he's back. Now he's like, okay, this isn't working. I'm going to try to reason with Mr. Robot. So he writes out a little thing like, hey, stop this. You're going to kill a lot of people. This is bad. And then he blanks out and he comes back and the computer's smashed. The guy who was in the room is like, I'm leaving now. Maybe that guy should report him. I don't know what he does. Whatever.
No.
The guy's like, I'm out. And so now you've got this second by second, each side taking control thing. Yeah, it does have a Fight Club feel to it in that moment too, which is cool. Also, it kind of reminded me of what is the movie? All of Me. You remember that movie? Steve Martin?
Yes.
Where like the one side of his body is controlled by
Lily Tomlin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other side of the body is his own, and so he's constantly like, oh, come over here. Anyway, so it's cool. It's physical comedy, but in a dark way. I mean, we know what the stakes are, and the fact that when he's running down that hallway and then falling and then running into the wall and then hitting his head on a pipe, and there's a guy watching. Like, maybe I should help. Nope. So after much effort, Elliott figures out, he gets to this room where he's like, hey, if I can activate the halon system or whatever, it'll be a vacuum, and then in the vacuum, you won't be able to spark, and it won't be able to blow the place up. I just need to get into this room, and he can't. And again, so he has to then again parlay. Now I'm skipping some non-Elliott stuff. I'm just kind of I'm running through the Elliott storyline here. So he reasons with this robot and basically says, hey, you've been played. Mm-hmm. And the evidence of that is none of the documents are here. Like these records that we wanted to blow up, they're not. I put them elsewhere. So there's nothing to blow up but people in this building. And that manages to get through. Right. And together they basically he comes back.
I guess the idea is that what is the Dark Army really doing? Why are they doing this if they can't destroy the records? So at that point, almost the implication is like, okay, we are working together, and maybe they're working together from now on. But
yeah, I think that we could talk about that. But
yeah, but we don't. Well, what happens next?
Yeah. Well, and in fact, Elliott says something like, "What will he do now that?"
Yes.
Now that he knows he was being played by the Dark Army, will he give up? Will he fight them? Will he fight me?
Yeah.
He's not sure.
So you have a moment of success.
Moment of success. He's like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
And he comes out of the building, and everyone's on their phones, or everybody's watching a screen in a store or something.
Yeah.
And it's obviously bad, and they haven't shown us what it is yet.
Nope.
they just you get a scene where there's a scene with Darlene and Angela gets this notification, probably E Corp, going ah. Anyway, what we find out is the 71 locations where Elliott had sent all the records have all gone up in flames.
Yes.
And thousands of people have died.
Thousands.
So it's this horrible, horrible terrorist attack.
Yeah.
Basically, all around the country.
Yep.
I assume those 71 places, obviously some of them are in the same state, but probably 71 different cities. Or dozens of different cities.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's 71 different cities, but
Yeah.
certainly 71 different locations.
Right.
They might have had like
all at the same
one
time.
city does different location, and then but who knows?
Like simultaneously.
Yeah, boom, all on the same day.
So the only one that didn't blow up is the one.
Yes.
there. Yay! They saved that one. So meanwhile, what's going on is we've got Darlene tries to talk Elliott into coming in. The FBI is listening in. They're like, get him in here. And Elliott, obviously, in that moment, is like still trying to stop the bomb. So he's like, can't talk.
No, send him to go get Tyrell.
Right. So, the FBI agent Dominique, and I always forget the guy's name that she's with, her partner, decide to act on this intelligence that the Red Wheelbarrow.
Yes.
Which, by the way, there's an ad for the Red Wheelbarrow during the show, too. Did you see that?
No, I missed
During the ad, there's actually a Red Wheelbarrow, and it's well done. Like, it totally seems like a legit
I was
place.
like, oh, it's a commercial.
Yeah, nope.
I'm not going to pay attention
I forgot the tagline. There's like a slogan in it. There's an old like prospector kind of guy like, Red Wheelbarrow. The eating is good or something like that. Anyway, but it was good. Anyway, so that is where Tyrell's hiding out. So they take their information to their higher up, Santiago, who we know from prior episodes is a Dark Army agent. And so he's like, "Oh, good. Well, we'll monitor the situation." And,
yeah, you haven't gotten me enough really to go in there.
Great, but thanks.
We'll surveil it.
Obviously, Dom is very upset about that. Kind of storms out of the office. Yeah. They then later decide, hey, it's actually another, we talk about the little humorous moments in this thing. The let's go to lunch moment is actually pretty funny, too. Where she's like, oh, you want to get some lunch? And the guy looks up. Yeah. What do you mean lunch? It plays out, and then they decide to go to lunch. And so she's... basically, they go and stake out the place. Yeah. She goes inside. She figures out, there's a fire happening. And she goes to investigate. Finds this place that's not in the charts, the diagram, structural plans, and it is in fact Tyrell's hideout. Although at that moment he has fled. Yes. So what we get from Santiago when obviously she's, hey, we know where Tyrell is and we want to go. He immediately, as soon as she leaves the office, he's like, they know Tyrell's been blown. We need to deal with him. So what we get from that is a scene where Irving goes into the Red Wheelbarrow safety room and confronts Tyrell. And I'll say this about this episode. And I suppose the show does this to some extent all the time, but in particular, there were 3 moments that I can name, and if you can name others, feel free to stick them in the comments. But it was basically a show of defying expectations. So we already mentioned one. The expectation was, can Elliott stop Mr. Robot? Yes. Or will this building blow up? Yes. And the expectation, one or the other is going to happen. Yes. And instead, nope, that's not the thing at all. No, it's these other 71 buildings blow up. So the expectation got derailed. In this other scene we're about to talk about, it seems very obvious that Irving is going to take out or have Tyrell taken out. Like either he's going to have an agent shoot him or he's going to shoot him. I felt like he was going to shoot him himself. I thought we'd see the first real big act of violence from Irving, which I still say is coming. There's going to come a day when Irving is not just a used car salesman. But it wasn't today. It wasn't yesterday. So again, they defied expectations. They're like, oh, no, they actually had another plan for him, and we can talk about what that plan might be. But at the end of the episode, Tyrell is alive. Yep. And then the other expectation It was when Dom, the FBI agent, goes down into that cellar area. It felt very Silence of the Lambsy, Clarice in Buffalo Bill's hideout.
Yep.
And it just, I mean, at any moment I was like, either they're going to see Tyrell dead, she's going to find his body, or he's still around and he's going to be like, and come out of the shadows and attack or something. Didn't happen. No, none of it happened. They just kept it just defied the expectations. It was just creeping around an empty, dark, smoky place.
Yep.
So interesting.
That's all you really need.
They just kept you guessing, basically, which was great. It was well done.
From there, Tyrell runs out because no one knows where he is. He's not there anymore. And you see him on the campus of E-Corps running around saying, stop the attack! Stop the attack!
Stop the attack. He gets arrested.
By the FBI?
By the FBI, yeah. Cops, well, she's there.
Yep,
Dom
sees it.
It's happening.
She's like, this bastard. What's he talking about?
Darlene goes to confront Angela because Darlene did know that Angela picked up Elliott. So she's like, what are you... So she's in on it. So she goes and, okay, I'm going to turn you into the cops in the FBI.
Go ahead.
She's like, fine. Okay, whatever has to happen, has to happen.
Yeah.
And
people will die. No, they won't.
No, they won't. Yeah, exactly.
Thousands.
No one will ever die again. So right at that moment when there's this confrontation and go ahead, bring me in, that's when the phone ring. She gets the buzz and it's like we assume she's learning. 71 places blew up and all these people died. Meanwhile,
they should have had that. Like, take that.
Yeah. So also we do have some scenes, multiple scenes with White Rose, where they're hanging out at Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
So they're making some more Trump digs during those scenes. So it's Price and White Rose are hanging out post the UN vote.
Yes.
And so Price is like, hey, well, since I got you the thing, now we can quid pro quo it, and we're all good. And I like, they did a deliberately awkward scene where the two of them are sitting at a bar with nothing to say.
Yep.
And I loved that scene because it's like they're fighting at that moment, at least seems to be over. Now, White Rose obviously knows, hey, by the way, in about an hour or so, everything you own is going to explode.
Yes.
But but Price doesn't know that, and so there's this moment of like, well, hey, we had our deal.
Good.
And they just sit there, silence, and I think he just literally says the word "good." Like, good. And he walks away, and that's it. It was brilliant. It was really good. Like these guys don't know how to react in a world without conflict. Like, a conflict's over. Okay, I have nothing else to say to you then. I'll just keep going. So that was really, really cool. But yeah, so we see White Rose is getting calls the whole time. It's probably being, informed that Tyrell's been, his location's been blown, blah, 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 blah. So then he carries out his master plan.
Yes.
Or she carries out her master plan, I should say.
Yes.
And, there's another humorous beat, which I appreciated, which was Darlene going to confront Angela, and there are these two Girl Scouts selling cookies. She's like, you picked the wrong day. You picked the wrong day. Like, I kind of like the fact that even in, like, this anarchist chaos, that 26% unemployment and things aren't, and money has no real value and stuff. There's still Girl Scouts selling cookies. It was kind of that was a nice little beat. Totally unnecessary, but a fun one.
Yes.
It was good. So, okay.
That's what you got Mr. Robot for, the comedy.
The comedy. I'm telling you, there's these fun comedic beats.
Yes.
All right. So, obviously, major changes coming.
Major changes.
We've already, what this will do to the economy. For instance, if we thought it was bad before, it's got to be worse now.
Right.
But also changes to the characters. So, you mentioned Mr. Robot and Elliott might be working together.
See, the trouble with that though is, at the time he was able to convince him to work with him because he was like, "Why are they doing this?" Okay. But they were just finding another way to do it. So they destroyed E-Corps in a different way. So
do you think though he being Mr. Robot might object to the loss of life? I mean, maybe not. Maybe because he was fine with blowing this building.
I would think.
Yeah.
I would think he would not be. I mean, he would be okay with it.
Okay. All right. I thought it might be an interesting.
With his mission accomplished, then it's just a matter of, I guess, what is that side? Is that side of Elliott satisfied with what happens after this?
I gotcha.
So that might be a reason to
narratively speaking,
find a way to integrate.
Narratively speaking, I think it might be interesting because we've seen them at odds for so long. Sure. It might be interesting to see them working together.
Well,
like see what it would be like if Mr. Robot and Elliott teamed up,
right,
and focused themselves on taking out White Rose.
A reason, yes, and a reason, of course, to do that would be the death of Darlene.
Darlene, you've been predicting it. Hadn't come true this episode, but I thought it might. I thought at the end of the episode, I thought Angela was going to be like, you know what, you're going to take me in? I don't think so.
Wow.
But, which would have been amazing or weird, but like, whoa, another expectation thing. But I do agree with you that it does seem like Darlene's days are numbered.
Yeah, I think.
And you feel like that will be the catalyst for maybe having an aligned Robot and Elliott working together. Right. We do see in the trailer for the next episode, I think I saw a glimpse of the therapist.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he was in the therapist's office at one point.
So he goes back to maybe now that he might even be able to bring Mr. Robot back and not have him be threatening. I don't know.
Perhaps. That's a good question.
Anyway, we have something we want to talk about together. But, so Angela's another character who's going to, I would think, drastically change as a result of this. I mean, she was, as we saw, she was hanging her hat on the fact that no one was going to die.
Right.
And now she sees, the loss of life is, if she wants to be guilty about it, she can put it on herself.
Oh, yeah.
So she just killed thousands of people.
Yes, she did.
I don't think she's a callous person that's just going to be like, oh, well.
No,
I think
she kept saying how important it was for her not to do that, not to have that happen.
Yeah.
So she trusted them to carry that out. And presumably, I mean, they still haven't spelled out exactly what White Rose showed her. But, if
it's a DeLorean. Okay.
If she still thought that after the phase 2, that there was something else that was supposed to make this magical thing happen that she thinks is going to happen, then they're going to.
She might wait for that.
They have to be more explicit about it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem as if she's thinking, "Oh, phase 2 has to happen," and then there's something else. She seems to be like, "No, this is the thing that needs to happen." So either they'll have to convince her, and there's one more thing, or she's already thinking that there's one other thing. But
which you mentioned the rapture thing. That is one of the things about like a cult like that, where it's always like, it didn't happen now, but the next sign is blah blah. You keep them going.
Yeah.
We do, since we see Elliott in therapy. I assume he's not arrested, although you could say he could be the patsy. He could be a patsy, for what's about, when they go, hey, who sent all these shipments off to these buildings before they blew up, and who got fired the day of the explosions?
Right, yeah, so how well he protected himself, that's going to be a question. And then, and also to have the, we have the meaning of you saying, don't, send this stuff to one place, I'll do it separately.
Yeah.
Also, though, Dom's deal or the FBI's deal with Darlene is, preface on, perhaps, like, help us stop this terrible thing from happening. Oh, it happened? Okay, then what the heck? You told your brother? All right. I mean, that's definitely, they'll want to look at, at Elliott as a result of that.
I see.
I think.
Yeah. No, I think it would be odd if no one bothers to check on Elliott after this.
And Tom tells him, you've had a rough time. Go see a therapist.
Yeah, right.
Darlene.
So for Tyrell, what do we think was in the letter? So Irving says, read this, burn it, which Tyrell does.
So
I have a thought on it. But go ahead.
What's your thought?
You want my thought first?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I heard an interview with the people making the shows.
Oh, okay. I did not. Okay, so it occurred to me, I don't think he asked about his wife again, who we know is dead.
Yes.
And I don't think he knows, and I don't think it's in the letter.
Correct.
Okay, because he wouldn't burn, like, he's following instructions.
Yes.
If it was like, yeah, your wife's dead and we screwed you, bye, he's not going to bother to go, oh, I better burn this and get rid of the evidence. He's still enlisted.
Yes.
So my thought is, especially because we saw the handcuff, that's the part that I was like, this is what I'm keying on. He brought out a handcuff, he put it on.
Yes.
And then when when Dom comes down into the basement, she sees the empty handcuff on the bed.
She does.
I think they've told him, you're going to pretend you were kidnapped by F Society and forced to do this. And so you're going to say, oh my God, I was a prisoner and it was horrible and I just managed to escape. Stop the attack, stop the attack. And so they're going to just blame it all on F Society instead of the Dark Army. I think that's where his part.
He probably should have done a better job of, making himself look as if he'd been handcuffed.
Yeah, right. But I think maybe putting it on.
Put the handcuff on the thing first.
Yeah.
And then he didn't put it on himself.
That's true. Or we saw him looking at it like, that's good enough. Yeah. Good enough.
It's like I asked my kidnappers for plenty of, salve so I wouldn't get damaged skin from the handcuff.
So I'm gonna guess that the letter maybe gave instructions to tell, like, here's what you say.
Okay.
Here's how you got us. Here's how you escaped. Here's what you were asked to do.
Yeah.
And blah 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 blah. So I think he's gonna blame the whole thing on F Society. And thank goodness I'm free.
Yes.
Now.
No, because the guy who was talking just after some prodding, he said that that he still doesn't know that his wife and child or wife is
which
dead
is a big
child.
chance to take, frankly, for Irving and they. I mean, maybe it's not.
Yeah,
maybe
because
they don't care,
one of the things they could, obviously the FBI knows, so they could be like, well, your wife is dead. Do you still feel like helping these fuckers
They
out?
said they're keeping it under wraps. Like a few episodes back.
Yeah,
but
they didn't release the news, but they could tell him.
Time's going by, too.
They could tell him.
Yeah, right. So it's... but anyway, that's what I think. I think he's still playing a part.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For the Dark Army.
They said follow instructions, and, it makes sense.
And we basically, we knew the Dark Army was very powerful, but now they're practically omnipotent. They blew up 71 different locations simultaneously.
They were saying, the whole deal was like, okay, fine, we want this one thing in the Congo to happen, and in exchange for that, we will support your, thing to have E-coin be something. And then, boom, they're done now. So obviously they don't need to support it. So really, Bitcoin is the only one.
Now, at the time when the very end of the episode, all these things happened, I was thinking to myself, I was confused just in terms of why did they make it so hard on themselves? Everything was in one location. Well, let's have Elliott spread it all out to 71 locations, then blow those up. But I think they were reacting to Elliott.
Well, it wasn't it never was all in the same place, though.
It never was. It was supposed to come there, and it just never did. Okay.
Yeah. He'd realized that was what was going to happen.
I see.
And so he was like, no.
Okay. But it was just, it was a little confusing. Did they just make this really hard on themselves?
And then he said it all in different places. That might have been possible, too.
Or maybe they should have tried to convince, they should have convinced Elliott that the 71 locations were going to be bad. So he's like, I should bring them all to one building and then blow up the one building, just save themselves the explosives. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what they're concerned about.
Yeah. But so we see they are...
Thank God this plan worked.
They can do everything and anything. And we do know Irving, although he is middle management, he's a pretty important player in the Dark Army's plans.
Yes.
And so it's interesting to know, what does he know? Did he know that us 71 buildings were going to explode? I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing he probably had some inkling. I don't know.
Yeah, he might have known.
Anyway, a lot of folks changed. I think we'll see changes to everyone's circumstance.
Yes.
Practically. Which is good. It's good TV.
Yes.
That's what that is.
It is good TV.
So, good stuff. We'll be back. Now, next week is right at Thanksgiving. I will be visiting my folks in Georgia for Thanksgiving.
yes.
So tune in for the recap, but it'll be a few days late. Paul can jump in and do it by himself. Hi, everybody. But anyway, so yes, we'll probably just do it later. But we'll do that, and there will be a recap of episode 7. It just might be a few days later. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And anything else, good sir?
Yeah, no, if you actually do want me to do it, put in the comments how you feel about sock puppets. Here's what happened.
I like Elliott. I like Mr. Robot. You're stupid.
Chili's the best.
Damn it. Chili. All right. Bye, everybody. See you later.